How come I haven't seen you in forever? What's going on? What is going on? Thank you for liking. When one tried to unify gravity with quantum mechanics, one had to introduce the idea of imaginary time. Imaginary time is indistinguishable from directions in space. If one can go north, one can turn around and head south. Equally, if one can go forward in imaginary time, one ought to be able to turn around and go backward. This means that there can be no important difference between the forward and backward directions of imaginary time. I've been so tired and sleepy after work. And that is your excuse? Why can't you turn on the live and go to bed? I can do more early if you want. But this is when people join usually. Okay. Good job, chickpea break. Good job. Look, Baji's over here. Baji's on my lap. Good job, chickpea break. Very nice. I'll show you. Baji's on my lap. He's learning with us. And here's my protein powder. On the other hand, when one looks at real time, he seems so comfortable. He is. On the other hand, when one looks at real time, there's a very big difference between the forward and backward directions, as we all know. Where does this difference Where does this difference between the past and the future come from? Why do we remember the past but not the future? The laws of science do not distinguish between the past and the future. More precisely, as explained earlier, the laws of science are unchanged under the combination of operations or symmetries known as C, P, and T. C means changing particles for antiparticles. P means taking the mirror image, so left and right are interchanged, and T means reversing the direction of motion of all particles, in effect running the motion backward. Dr. Krauss? The laws of science that govern the behavior of matter under all normal situations are unchanged under the combination of the two operations C and P on their own. In other words, life would be just the same for the inhabitants of another planet who were both mirror images of us and who were made of antimatter rather than matter. Wow! Antimatter rather than matter. Same life. If the laws of science are unchanged by the combination of operations C and P, and also by the combination CP and T, they must also be unchanged under the operation T alone. Yet, there is a big difference between the forward and backward directions of real time in ordinary life. Imagine a cup of water falling off a table and breaking into pieces on the floor. If you take a film of this, you can easily tell whether it is being run forward or backward. If you run it backward, you will see the pieces suddenly gather themselves together off the floor and jump back to form a whole cup on the table. You can tell that the film is being run backward because this kind of behavior is never observed in ordinary life. If it were crockery manufacturers would go out of